Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. If you're not, it's alright. We're gonna make it. It's gonna be okay. Alright? Crochet the pain away. Okay, so on that note, pattern review. You see this? It's a throw. I tried to turn it into a blanket, but we'll get into it. So this is called the Crochet Flower Patch Throw. It's free. I'll link it in the description. These are the recommended colors of the pattern. Absolutely gorgeous. I really like it. It has like a vintage aesthetic. So I decided to choose these colors to really go for like a granny in the 70s made this. That is really like what I'm trying to go for. So I chose these colors for that. This is the second project I ever made. The pattern is mentioned for intermediate. Honestly, it is just so well written that I just picked it up. I had to be patient with myself just learning to crochet in general. And there were times where I would like pull up YouTube tutorials and they would be like, so all you need to do is single crochet 10 times, go other, double backwards, triple flip a sideways, double bingo, whammy, whammy, whammy. And I'm just like, what is even happening? Like, so just be patient with yourself. It's gonna sometimes feel like a whole new language, right? So I do think that this would be great for beginners. Dimensions are for this one here. Says it's a throw, right? So it's not gonna be a full blanket. I don't want a throw. I want a full blanket. I don't want my toes hanging out there getting cold in the breeze for having, you know, the ghouls and goblins creeping up in the middle of the night, tickling my tootsies. So I decided to extend it. I added another row of flowers, thinking that that would be long enough. It's still a little short for me, honestly. But if you're going for a throw, boom, boom, bang, boom, jump in, follow those instructions, and you're good to go. But me, as you will find out if you continue to hang out here and I continue to do this, I use patterns as guidelines. I've never been good at following rules. Okay. I do my best, honestly, sincerely. I try to follow the rules. But sometimes you just go buck wild and life is too short to always follow the rules. But if you like to look at it as a guideline and you're similar like that, this is a great guideline. If you like to follow the pattern step by step by step, also absolutely perfect for that. I think the versatility of crochet is awesome. As I mentioned before, I am not a perfect crocheter. I load it up with personality. I think I got some personality right. Oh, and we got some personality. We got some, you know, spice it up. A human made this, right? Okay. I'm getting a little off track here. So the materials needed: yarn needle / tapestry needle, as I kind of touched on in my hot dog scarf video. The hook size used is a USI or 5.5 millimeters. Or again, if you want to go the guideline route, like yours truly, just use it as a suggestion. Use whatever size needle you want. Use whatever gauge yarn you want. Be mindful that's going to make your end result either bigger or much smaller. Have fun with it. Experiment. That is the beauty and the joy of crochet. Let's dive into the actual instructions a little bit. I really appreciated that in this pattern they mentioned turfurp and terburp and yo. I really appreciated that. I still don't know to this day what turfup means or turbup means, but guess what? She figured it out one way or the other. It happened. And guess what? Sometimes you don't even have to know what the words mean in order to figure out how to do it. Just do it. Just do it. Right? So I really appreciated that about the instructions. Again, all the abbreviations are laid out. We have TOG, yo, turbup, turfup, beg, dat, pat, rep, you know. It goes on. So yeah, my experience creating this pattern was honestly not as brutal as I thought it was gonna be. It was really fun. I actually ended up taking on these like hexagon squares. Hexagon squares, everybody, thank you. I ended up taking on these like kind of granny square-ish, granny hexagons, I guess, before I even took on granny squares, because for some reason granny squares were very intimidating. I thought they were going to be the hardest thing to ever try in the crochet universe. So I took this on and it was really fun. I used a cheap acrylic yarn because, again, it's like I'm not going to be blowing my hard-earned cash if I end up absolutely hating this and don't want to do it again. So again, I'm always a fan of checking out any sort of like craft recycleries, secondhand. Use your best judgment. If you're paranoid about bugs and stuff, there are ways around it. You can wash stuff, so on and so forth. Clearance. Hit those sales, use those coupons. Money is a very, big factor in this for a lot of people, including myself. But we also have to keep sane and just not work and pay our bills all the time. So being able to find a way to afford fun little hobbies like this is so important for my well-being and my mental health and just enjoying life in general. I love being able to make gifts, and there's nothing quite like a handmade something to give to somebody. I've made things where I'm like, I did the best, and then I give it to somebody and they're just like, whoa my God. So I kind of just went off on a tangent there, but I hope you catch what I'm talking about. So since this is, my first blanket, and I made this back, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago now, in the deep underbelly of the pandemic, and it's still around, and it is strong. And I just use your basic acrylic. For this, use like a sprinkly cotton. And then this green one is just a random worsted merino wool. So this whole thing is a wombo combo. We've got acrylic, merino wool, and cotton. So I've washed it, dried it in the dryer. It's great. Having said that, just read the label. Follow the label. I would say softness, that was a concern for me. It's not scratchy and it's not itchy. I would say it's medium. It's amazing. And if you throw this together for a throw, again, what's a throw anyway? You throw it. It's not like it's gonna be your deluxe satin, like soft. That's something you could customize if you wanna find something that's a little softer. Go for it, try it out. I wanna hear how your experience was. What was it like? I will say, dang, something that I didn't realize when I was making this as a blanket, the stacks. I'll put some pictures. The stacks of patties that I was churning out was just like taking up space, and I kind of try to keep things minimal as far as space goes. That did inspire me to get it done because I didn't want like these stacks of things. I call them patties. They're hexagons. These hexagon patties just stacked around all willy-nilly. Finishing part left me high and dry. I love this pattern. I'm not poo-pooing anything. I just want to share my experience that when I saw finishing, sew hexagons together following assembly diagram, and then I see the assembly diagram and I'm like, I was completely lost. So I just looked up how to sew things together, and it was really fun and it was really easy. So this is the opposite side. You can see this is the front, right? This is the back. You can see some seams, some stitches, right? Here and there. But again, that's the personality because a human made it. Right? So I learned about like tucking in the ends and all kinds of stuff like that. So I would say this is great, honestly. For beginner, if you want to take this on, just be mindful that it says intermediate. So give yourself a little more patience. If you're taking on something that's more challenging, it's going to be more challenging, This was a really fun pattern. I had such a good time. Easy to assemble. You make one piece at a time. Boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, beep, in all the different colors. Get those stacks all around wherever your crochet space is, and you just put them together, and you can arrange them any way you want. This goes back to the beauty of crochet. You could even get creative. Add some extra squares around the outside and have an outline, a golden outline, or in this brown color you could do another outline to give it a frame, you know what I mean? Oh, the possibilities are endless. You can really take off and do whatever you want and use this as a guideline, or follow it instruction by instruction. It's so great because it's so versatile. One thing I do want to touch on is that this was my first exposure to diagrams, and guess what? They look kind of scary to me. They are my favorite thing. I love crochet diagrams. Crochet diagrams are my favorite thing. They look cool and they have like special little symbols, like a map. So awesome. I love diagrams. That's my new favorite thing. I love crochet diagrams. Because guess what? You don't really have to know any sort of abbreviations for a crochet diagram. You just look at the pictures. Say, oh, this picture means this, and this picture means this. So I just go follow the pictures. Pretty cool. I would absolutely recommend this pattern. You can choose whatever colors you want, get what's on sale and what's on clearance, or you can go and buy the pre-packaged pattern. This would make a great gift, okay? Or make it for yourself. Show yourself some self-care and make a little cuddly thing. And that's another beautiful thing about crochet. It can be delicate, it can be hardy, it's timeless. Yeah, have you tried this pattern? Are you going to? Are you thinking about it? Let me know. Are you going to use the same colors? You want to try something different? You want to mix it up? Are you going to make a throw? Or you want to make a full-size queen? Full-size queen. Tell me about your experiences with this pattern, or if you're going to be making it, if you had made it, or if you want to make it. Again, I'll link the pattern in the description. A little to the right, boom, you can click download the pattern right there. You get it for free. Well, I'm over here in a sweater wrapped in a blanket pretending like it's not 85,000 degrees in here. You never would have guessed, would you? You never would have. Be good to each other, take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.